Alright, so this topic is a controversial one and always upsets a few people. And believe me, I get it. Of all people, I know the importance of looks maxing, looking good. I used to be a chubby 19-year-old when I was back in Nottingham at uni at the end of first year. And when you're that bloated and that chubby, not a single girl is attracted to you, not a single woman is attracted to you on a basic level. And in fact, there were a couple who used to be, and they used to drop hints saying, you've changed and, you look different now. Nicely saying, you're now a fat pig and I used to fancy you, not anymore. But now it's a very, very different scenario now, completely different. And even ignoring the confidence and the way you walk and how that's different, even just on a basic physical level, it's completely different. So believe me, I get it. But I wouldn't be doing my job if the testosterone consultant, said, yeah, go on everyone, just everyone take finasteride, take all the finasteride pills, put all the minoxidil in your hair, and don't worry about it. Your testosterone will be fine. Your libido will never ever be affected. Your physique and gyno and stuff like that will never be affected, because it's objectively not true. And the studies are very, very clear on the link between finasteride and DHT. Not the link, I mean it directly controls DHT. And on top of that, there's been quite a few studies more recently. Because people ask me about facial hair and beard and that stuff. And I used to be a massive proponent of minoxidil with derma rolling and a few other things, castor oil. I'm a little more hesitant with minoxidil now, because there's been quite a few studies coming out that show that it might lead to higher prolactin levels. It's dose dependent, so if you were just using a tiny bit on your eyebrows once every other day, you don't have anything to worry about. But if you're every day rubbing it all into your hair, to your beard as well, and there's just loads of it, and it's going straight into your brain as well, that's probably something to, you might definitely, as always, get your blood work done. But prolactin at that point is probably something that I would really keep an eye on, especially if you've been on the minoxidil for many months. Because if you didn't know, when prolactin's really high, it's just going to crush your libido and testosterone and all the hormones you want. So it's not just finasteride. Everyone knows finasteride basically slashes DHT. The minoxidil and basically all of the hair saving drugs, I suppose, have problems. So it's up to you as an individual. Obviously get your blood work done, but it's up to you about the risks you take, how your physique's looking, how your mood is, what your libido's like. You'd have to see how you feel. My advice would be always, if you're going to do any of it, start out really low, lowest dose possible, and keep getting your blood work done. But on the topic of looks maxing, there's a hell of a lot of guys that I don't think should be taking finasteride. Their hairline is way more fine and perfectly okay than they think. They're obsessing over the hairline when they're 18% body fat and they've got these big puffy cheeks. They have no jawline or bone structure. It makes their eyes look smaller. It makes everything look worse. Double chin. It's like, don't crush your testosterone for something that isn't exactly going to change your life in the first place. Like, lose the weight first, grow a better stubble, and whatever else you need to do, maybe a tan for some people, improve your skin. Do all that stuff first before you annihilate your DHT. And if you're using loads of minoxidil, you might be pushing the prolactin up as well. So we're not just talking annihilating DHT, which has downstream consequences for testosterone as well. Yes, it does. And and then if you're pushing the prolactin up as well, that's just going to murder your testosterone. So if your hairline really isn't bad and you've got other things to focus on, and if you're 17% body fat, I guarantee you'll look better, more chiseled when you get closer to 10. Do those things first. Save yourself a bunch of problems and just do the foundational things. And then if your after all of that, if your hairline is still that important to you, get a hair transplant. And I know that some of them say, you know, you need finasteride. Get another one 10 years later or something. If you can't afford that, well, you can't. Something has to change there, because you're saying you're not attractive. You're also saying that you're broke, and you're going to be low testosterone if you take finasteride. That doesn't sound like a great path to me. Like, you've got to have something going. Then, you know, if you've got male pattern baldness in your family, it's already bad. Every single guy in your family has had the same thing, even with lower testosterone levels. Then you've probably got an argument for finasteride at that point. Again, with all this stuff, I would start out low and just kind of go from there. I still think hair transplant and get another one 8 years later or whenever you need to. But just be aware, finasteride is going to slash DHT, and minoxidil can cause problems as well. So that's pretty much it. I do think a lot of guys should be focusing on other things, and then they've got skinny fat physiques, and it's like the finasteride is just going to make that worse. Like, there's so many other things to focus on. But as always, it's your life, your choice. Just be aware of the consequences on your hormones. The testosterone will be pushed downwards. All of the factors remaining the same with finasteride and possibly minoxidil, depending on how much you use. So hair versus hormones, it's up to you to make that choice. If your hair really isn't bad at all, I would always pick hormones personally, but that's me.